This is the tale of Woo-Jin Kim, a young boy who despises this world. Deeming everyone to be untrustworthy, he went through life completely alone until the world he knew fell apart. With the arrival of dungeons, monsters, and players which could stop them, he found Sejun, deeming him to be the protector of the masses. With him by his side, Woo-Jin Kim thought he really could save the world, but even Sejun betrays him at the last moment. However, this isn't the end of him. He mysteriously travels to the past, where he vows to take revenge against those who wronged him. Before we begin, follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us. This is the story of a young boy. Abandoned at birth and treated like an animal, he proclaims that he hates the world. Due to his experiences, he knows of the evil of humans, and so he chooses not to trust anyone. And so this boy, Woo-Jin Kim, grew up on the streets and became a delinquent. On January 1st, 2020, however, dungeons appeared in the world. From within poured out monsters, who destroyed the cities and killed many. But with their appearance came Nimbus, divine beings who granted certain people a power called authority. People with this power, who could destroy these dungeons and save the people, were called players. But greed took the players' hearts, and they used their power for personal gain. But for the boy, this was all as usual. Even in this world, he cannot trust anyone. That was until he met Sejun. He, on the contrary, protected the weak no matter what. To save the world, he started the Messiah Guild. This is where the boy would see brotherhood for the first time. But this all changed one day. Along with Shin Hae Park, he murders all other members to rule the world with his power. And this is how Woo-Jin Kim dies, alone just like in the past. All of a sudden, however, he opens his eyes to find himself in a transport vehicle. Confused, he tries to see what's happening, but they get intercepted by a horde of orcs. As such, the men prepare to attack, terrified. Woo-Jin Kim jumps right in, killing numerous monsters single-handedly. The rest of the men watch in sheer awe, unable to utter even a single word. Disbelief covers their face as they wonder if this feat is even possible, despite witnessing it themselves. Woo-Jin Kim, on the other, finally realizes what's going on. He has warped time and returned to the past, the fated day that he became a player. But something's unusual. Woo-Jin Kim finds that unlike in the past, this time he has choices to select from. Among them is the Dark World Surrogate. As per his knowledge, this power is near omnipotent, and in the past, a player known as the Immortal King received this power and was deemed the strongest. Vowing to kill Sejun, he selects this power. It is revealed that there are two major guilds in Korea. The Phoenix Guild, which is evil and corrupt, and the Messiah Guild, which has idealistic values. At Phoenix headquarters, Woo-Jin Kim decides to get contracted with this team and wants to prove his awakening to the contractor. As such, the worker provides him with several skills, telling him to pick one so he can verify his power. There, Woo-Jin Kim finds the skill Hemotoxic, which turns the player's blood into a toxin, and selects this, deeming it to be a simple yet useful ability. With this, he shines brightly, confirming his powers. Soon after, he joins a team to go hunt inside a dungeon. As soon as they enter, the leader, Joseph, tells him to go scout, trying to use him as bait, and he agrees. Meanwhile, at the Messiah Guild, a new member named Suzuki Aichi joins. But he is seen to have bad blood with the others present. Consequently, he immediately gets into a confrontation, but it ends with a single order from Sejun, who tells them to stop. As such, Park Hae continues, asking Aiki about how much time it will take to complete the task assigned to him. He replies it will take 3 days, impressing Sejun. On the other hand, Woo-Jin Kim is diligently investigating the dungeon. There, he recalls the man who taught him to find clues in this manner, Suzuki Aichi himself. Despite his teachings, Woo-Jin Kim still holds resentment towards Aichi for becoming Messiah's dog, even going as far as killing for them. All of a sudden, he gets attacked by a group of goblins, but uses this chance to test out his hemoglobin skill. However, it proves to be rather weak as of now, making him use his weapon, the Goblin Lord's whip, to end things. Back to the player party, who gets jumped by a group of goblins as well. The rookies are terrified, but Joseph jumps in and protects them, acting all cool. However, his sword gets stuck inside the corpse of his enemy, allowing the monsters to hit him on the head. Bleeding profusely, Joseph tells the others to attack as well, and they somehow survive. Woo-Jin Kim, in the meantime, is killing these goblins and leveling up quite a bit. Not long after, he unlocks yet another powerful skill. This time, he receives skeleton disease, which Woo-Jin Kim claims was the most powerful skill that the immortal king possessed. Not being able to believe his luck, he is surprised that this overpowered ability is already his. Using his skill, he transforms the corpse into a skeleton, which rises up after overcoming death and appears as his summon. Wanting to gauge his new soldier's strength, he pits him against a goblin, but the results are below his expectation. He understands that this soldier of his might be too weak to use as the main attack, but regardless, he continues to head towards a cave. The others, meanwhile, are near their limit. Incurring many injuries, the party is still tired from the battle. The rookies ask Joseph about what they should do, and he tries to boost the morale. Suddenly, Joseph levels up, informing them that Woo-Jin Kim is still alive and fighting. All of a sudden, something emerges from the ash and rumble. This is exactly what Woo-Jin Kim came here to find: a goblin champion. He reveals that before the Messiah Guild intervened, many lost their lives in the past thanks to this monster. This challenge might be too much for a starting party, but for someone like Woo-Jin Kim, it shouldn't pose too much of a threat. However, the skeleton soldier wants to try first. Seeing his serious expression, Woo-Jin Kim allows him to go for it and watches from the sidelines. The skeleton mimics his movement, using its high speed to attack the foe's legs. Ultimately, the skeleton kills the goblin champion, much to Woo-Jin Kim's amazement. Soon after, the dungeon is cleared. The injured and broken party emerges from the portal shell-shocked, whereas Woo-Jin Kim looks to be indifferent. Joseph, seeing Woo-Jin Kim completely okay, is distraught after seeing him clear the dungeon alone. After getting out, Woo-Jin Kim plans his revenge against Sejun, but unlike in the past, he has no contact with him currently. But this only means that he has to make some at the end point. This connection is the Orc Hunter dungeon. As such, he heads to his contractor and tells him to prepare a date for him to clear the dungeon. The contractor agrees, but later learns that one of the rising stars of Yong Wang's faction, John, couldn't even clear it. Eventually, the day arrives and enters the dungeon alone. Immediately, he gets attacked, but manages to evade barely. He repeatedly attacks the orc's legs, finally bringing it to its knees. Ultimately, he kills this monster and creates a new summon. On the other hand, news of Woo-Jin Kim clearing his first dungeon alone spreads, even reaching the ears of his target, Yong Wang. Along with his secretary Lee and another member, they all are impressed by this feat. Meanwhile, Woo-Jin Kim pits his skeletons against the orcs. However, as his skill level is low, the results are unfavorable. Regardless, Woo-Jin Kim still has an ace up his sleeve. Remembering some tactics he learned from his previous party member, he summons yet another orc skeleton and strengthens it with magic. With this, he defeats his foes and levels up his skills. Moreover, he then moves to his target, the Orc Hunter, which is an orc which kills its own kind. After some planning, he comes up with a place where his target might be and makes his way there. Eventually, Woo-Jin Kim arrives but has to be careful. And so, he plans to use his hemotoxic skill to defeat the target. Therefore, he sends in his skeleton first, which attracts the foe's attention, and it engages in combat. With the target distracted, Woo-Jin Kim laces an arrow with his blood, shooting it precisely at the Orc Hunter's only weakness, his eye. This poisons the monster and weakens it, allowing the skeleton to kill him. And so, the battle ends, and Woo-Jin Kim gains levels. Moreover, as he investigates the corpses, he deduces that John hid in the cave, spending his last days holed up while his comrade were eaten. Suddenly, a book falls from the corpse. The book is seen to be Jeon's diary. Woo-Jin Kim picks up this book, claiming he can make good use of this.
Follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us.